The truth had been buried for 180 years. The real story had never been told. Until now. By acclaimed author Sharon Ewell Foster in The Resurrection of Nat Turner. Hear his story for the very first time. And we're back with Sharon Ewell Foster on The Resurrection of Nat Turner. Now, in the previous segment, you said that it wasn't an indiscriminate attack on all whites. So Nat Turner's revolt was specific?
It seems to me from the research that I did that it was very specific. One of the documents that I was able to uncover with the help of the county clerk in Southampton County was a document that was the deed to a church that was called Turner's Meeting Place. Mm-hmm. And there were trustees named on the document, the Francises, the Whiteheads, the Turners. Those are the names that come to me immediately. If you look through the list of the people that were targeted, they bear those surnames. So it wasn't just indiscriminate killing, it doesn't seem to me. Mm-hmm. It seems like what came to me was, there's a passage in the Bible that says judgment will begin at the house of the Lord. And that's what struck me, and that those names kept coming up over and over again. So I don't think it was indiscriminate at all. And as a matter of fact, there were even people within those families that the group, as they made their way that night, August 22nd, it was pre-dawn, August 22nd, 1831, as they made their way, there were houses, even with people with those surnames that they passed by. There were others who, like, there was a gentleman named Nathaniel Francis, who, according to local lore, was especially cruel. Mm-hmm. Those people seem to have been targeted. So this was not indiscriminate. Okay. I am convinced that these were people protecting themselves, mm-hmm. and also people who had a thirst for liberty.
Wow. How enlightening is that? One of the things that has come to mind in terms of humanizing Nat Turner, in your book, Sharon, you very poignantly showed that Nat Turner was often called by his first and last name.
Yes.
And to take us back to the time of the antebellum South, slaves generally did not get a last name.
No.
And were definitely not called by a last name. Talk about the significance of that he was known as Nat Turner.
He was known throughout the community as Nat Turner. Mm-hmm. Other slaves, you're absolutely right, they were called by one name. Mm-hmm. And that one name was often a disparaging kind of name. And it, just like you would call a pet, mm-hmm. Toby, or, just one name. But he was known for having two names. And there is a gentleman in the town, Mr. James McGee, who said that he believed that Nat Turner was the son of this gentleman, Benjamin Turner, mm-hmm. who was his owner. Mm-hmm. I tend to kind of believe that because there was a reward put out by the governor for Nat Turner after the event. It was for $500, dead or alive. Mm-hmm. And in the description, they describe him as being bright, not light-skinned, but bright. Mm-hmm. And I remember long ago old people using that term, mm-hmm. describing a black person that was fair-skinned. Mm-hmm. They said he was bright, but not a mulatto. And just that adding that, not a mulatto, that they wanted you to know for certain that he didn't have a white father, raised all my antenna. And I thought, okay, well, they're arguing against what's obvious. I tend to believe that Benjamin Turner was Nat Turner's father. Wow. One of the things that really piqued my curiosity was on this same deed that I talk about for Turner's meeting place. One of the first trustees listed was Nathan Turner. And I asked the gentleman who is the keeper of the documents, who really is the keeper of all this history, who was Nathan Turner. And he could tell me who everyone else was on there who was listed as a trustee, but not this Nathan Turner. I would have discounted it and said it couldn't be our Nat Turner as a boy listed as a trustee, except at the bottom of the deed, the people who witnessed the deed wouldn't sign off on it. They refused to sign off on it until they could talk to Benjamin Turner's wife alone. I mean, it's written on the deed. They wouldn't sign off until they could speak to her alone, and she gave her okay.
Wow.
So something very
there.
peculiar is going on.
Oh, this is intriguing. We'll be back with more with Sharon Ewell Foster right after this.